Okay, sweet Pisces, we have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is, cups are emotions, and it is most definitely either affecting your family or caused by a switch in the family dynamics. Since the Strength card is crossing it, it does look like some changes are coming that are long overdue. And, sometimes we have to muck through the darkness in order to get to the light. So it does look like you've been trudging through some of the darkness to make these changes, but the light is just around the corner. But it does look like some family changes. And for many of you, it may mean either connecting with a person intimately, releasing a marriage, releasing an intimate relationship, or just some kind of dramatic changes that are coming through the family. It could mean a move. So depending on your situation, individually, Pisces, but there looks like a big shift coming through the family dynamics, and it will ultimately strengthen the connection, but it does look like it'll be a little muddled in the beginning. The Strength card here crosses you, so that basically is pull up your big girl, big boy pants, do what you need to do, find the strength to make those changes, because the changes are going to happen anyway. So you might as well jump on board to those changes, do what you can do to make that transition a little bit easier, but it will require some internal strength on your part, Pisces. The Chariot here is above what's happening, and this is kind of in your wishes and dreams and the main focus on things. And the Chariot can stand for a number of things. It can be balancing the dark and the light within us all. It could be exalting your ideals, your morals, your behavior, accepting responsibility for things from the past, but finding your balance, owning your truth. It also can stand for travel in style, with dignity, and having kind of your moral compass on. Even if those around you fly low, please fly high. These wings, these blue wings are lighting up for me, so it will create a sense of freedom for you that you haven't had in quite a while. So it may be lightening up on some of your responsibilities, but there is a definite shift and adjustment in roles, responsibilities within the family and the dynamics. But it does look like it will better you, Pisces, in the long run. It will exalt you as long as you stay, with your moral compass dialed in. I encourage you to go to the higher love-based emotions. Even if someone's pushing your buttons, don't fly down into the ego space or the fear space. But it does look, this is a long time coming, and it's a shift in the dynamics of your, and not necessarily just relationship space, but it looks like within the family dynamics as a whole. What has just passed is it feels like some truth came to light that was kind of damaging to you. This may help you propel yourself into more action with this decision that is in front of you. But it does feel like someone took the wind out of your sails. It can be betrayal of the heart. It could be gossip, theft. It could be getting a negative diagnosis or a health issue. But whatever this situation was kind of propelled the change. It looks like you were hovering a little bit in this change, and now this either diagnosis, information, betrayal, once it came to light, it really allowed you to kind of step in or step back from a lot of responsibilities that you've been doing for others, it feels. So it's time to do some self-care, Pisces. Take a step back from kind of the static, or if there's people fighting tumultuousness in the family, take a step back from that. But it does look like this was the initiation of you joining the change. It looks like it's been kind of on the back burner for a while, but it looks like there was what do they say? This is the straw that broke the camel's back type of thing. This feels like that straw was presented to you within the last month or two. So because of all this, it looks like it has really propelled you into doing some focus on some of your passions, discs can be money, making money differently, but your path is right there. It's right between here, and so you can see your future a little clearer. It does look like you've relieved yourself of some responsibilities that you've had just kind of out of habit that maybe really weren't yours to clean up. So it looks like you're doing a little bit more self-care. You're focusing on yourself. Aces are God cards, so your focus is now in the correct direction. For many of you, it may be reigniting your passions into art or writing or dancing or whatever you kind of put to the wayside to solve other people's stuff. So now that that is all out of the way, you're able to focus on you a little bit more. And for many of you, it may be even changing jobs or making money from either a situation or a non-traditional way of either adding to your finances or completely revamping the way that you make money. So that is happening in present time. We have the Six of Swords here, and the swords can be kind of biting and cutting and kind of situations that were negative kind of propel us into this situation. But it does look like you're floating for a little bit, not really knowing which direction to go. And floating is okay. You know, Spirit will tell you which way to go if you are quiet and listen. But it does look like there are some choices to be made, and you're just kind of floating to see what happens. I encourage you to float for a little bit, but to be proactive if there's something that really you would like to see manifest. So take those reins and make those choices. A lot of times doing nothing is a choice. Well, doing nothing always is a choice, and which kind of perpetuates into situations that we weren't prepared for. So if you have a choice, please make it, but float a little bit to collect some more information before you head in a direction. And you know, there is always more than one choice in life, even though it feels like there's only one. There is always more than one. So I believe that if you pay attention to your heart and your head, you will be shown the direction to go. But don't stay there too long, because then the situation kind of, people make those decisions for us, and then that's a whole nother ball of wax that you have to deal with. Here is a 2 at the basis of this, and this looks like really trying to find your balance. You've been trying to find your balance for a while, and you're getting closer and closer as you relieve yourself of some responsibilities that really aren't necessary for you to pick up anymore. So really trying to find your balance between mind, body, spirit. There's something about balancing money, balancing checkbook that's coming out. I'm feeling some frustration and anger. So maybe it's time to give over paying the bills to somebody else, your partner or your kids, or relieving yourself a little bit more. But it does look like with each step of change that you're embracing, you are finding your balance a little bit more and more and more. It looks like you are going more internally. For many of you, it may be, you know, reconnecting with church. It may be just reading self-help books, finding time just for yourself to walk in the woods, however that looks for you, but finding some peace time that you have created just for yourself. You've pretty much, you're pretty been thinned out with a lot of other responsibilities and family things. And sometimes you just need to let it fall so other people can pick up those responsibilities. But it does feel like you're getting closer and closer and closer to your balance. You're working at it, it looks like on the daily. And, you know, for many of it, it's chanting or meditating or just getting outside, whatever that looks for you if you're not particularly religious. But finding that quiet time that you so desperately need will help you relieve with some of the frustration and anger. You know, schedule it in. If you've got a scheduler and it's, you know, schedule it in between 12 and 1 p.m. That's my time. So it's really important that you kind of carve out that alone time for you so you can clear your head of other people's opinions, ideas, and being pulled from one side to the other. But it does look like you're getting closer and closer to really finding your balance. These ships back here are kind of lighting up for me. So I'm wondering if you're going to be doing something for vacation, or near water, or take a cruise, but there's something of great joy. Of course, you're a Pisces, so water is very important to you. So maybe it's just getting next to the water so you can really clear your head of all the jive that's going on in that, so you can release some of that inner dialogue and just be. So the water is very healing for most water signs. So it might be just as simple as going to sit and look at a body of water so you can clear your head. The Death card is here. That is the ending of something. I do see the King of Swords here, but when I ask Spirit if it's a person, it is not a person. That, but it does look like, for many of you, you may be cleaning up somebody else's stuff, or finishing somebody else's, like a will, or like somebody who already passed, that you're, either selling the house or cleaning up the house. There may be something to do with a death from the past. It may have to do with investing money from, if you inherited, but it does look like there is a physical death related, but it's a physical death from the past. So you may have been gifted some things or legacy things from the death of a relative, and you may be still tying things up or getting rid of physical things that are no longer useful for your life. But in the big scheme of things, the Death card kind of validates the changes and the endings. So it looks like something here within the family dynamics is coming to an end. And this is just the validation that you're on the right track. So continue to relinquish control of things that other people can handle. But the King of Swords here is lighting up for me as a possible person. Swords, that's an air sign. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this may entail, or it could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius that has passed, that you are dealing with, say, their legal things or their home, or just tying up loose ends. The King of Swords also reminds us to be exalted in our words, not be so cutting. It can stand for very spontaneous things that are coming. But the King in general is someone that takes the right road, that lives in integrity, and is thoughtful in their deeds and actions, and takes responsibility. But they can also be very spontaneous. So I encourage you, I know Pisces, you guys are planners. So I encourage you to do spontaneous things too. But being right next to the Death card, it can mean cleaning up some legal things. It can mean cleaning up, wills, trusts, things like this on the legal side or the paperwork side. But usually Kings of Swords kind of incorporate some kind of intellect, because they live very much in their head. Air signs live very much in their head. So it does look like the ending coming to the end, but don't give up before everything is done. All the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted. The Knight of Wands is at the top here, and wands are action and fire and movement, and can mean maybe doing frivolous things without thinking. The Knight can stand for someone in a body that is maybe they can be anywhere, any age, but if they are older than 30, it usually means they're a little bit emotionally young. And wands are fire signs. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And knights don't necessarily dictate that it is a male. This could be a female Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But it does look like there is some opinion around this person, or this person has some opinion around the transformation that is happening within the family dynamics. The 5 is on one side and the 7 is on the other. So this could be like objecting loudly to the changes that are happening. It looks like they need to be placated a little bit, but still you need to make those choices, especially for that freedom feeling. That is important for you to do what is in your best interest, and not necessarily doing anything maliciously to anyone else. But sometimes we have to put ourselves first, and other people don't like it because it changes the dynamics. So the 5 here is kind of a validation of that. There's a bit of static. It looks like a bit of maybe even not physical fighting, but emotional fighting here, where it does look like you are growing out of this and you have decided to kind of leave it for the others type of thing. So, but it looks like you don't want to play the game anymore. And sometimes it's best to just step back and take a look at how the dynamics are shaping up through others' control or lack of control. The 7 of Cups is here. You've got a number of cups. You do have some swords. So you have some slashing energy, some money concerns. But this cup here, there's some emotions involved. Now this card can mean one of 2 things, really. It could mean that you've pretty much met your bucket list, or you have met all your challenges that you have put out in front of yourself since you were a child, and now it's time to re-up your wildest dreams. What do you want from life? And to kind of refill your cups with your dreams and desires. It also can stand for looking at a situation with blinders on and not seeing it for what it truly is, but seeing it for what you want it to be. It's like falling in love with someone for their potential, and then waking up in a couple of years and realizing, they're kind of a crappy person, and they've always been a crappy person, but you had enough faith in them that you wanted them to change. Well, the reality of the situation is they were a crappy person. Like, you connected with them and they still are. You cannot change someone else. You can only change yourself. So this can be a little bit of a warning to look at things as they truly are and not as you wish them to be. Okay, that is your general reading, Pisces. So it looks like you have some work to do or completion on the work that you have been doing. So congratulations on all the energy you've been able to move over the last couple of months. I'm going to throw some of these for clarity. Yes, complacency. Complacency does not work anymore. It's time to stop sitting and wishing and make the changes that you need to change to better your life. Forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself and others really is how we propel ourselves into growth. When we don't forgive ourselves or others, it just rents space in our head and keeps us emotionally at that wounded place. It does not help you move past it. It does not help you further into your growth and to fly high. And it does look like you're right on the verge of flying high and creating some wonderful new things in your life. So I encourage you to take your best foot forward and start moving. Don't sit in complacency and let others make those choices for you. And forgiveness of yourself, situations, and others is really the true avenue to heal. So I encourage you to embrace both forgiveness and some motion involved in this situation.